Hello, this is Estates and Trusts. This is our introductory video. I am Professor Donna Byrne, and as you can see, we started out with a PowerPoint. We have my talking head, and I can put them together like this. So this is what the online videos look like. They're basically PowerPoints with a talking head in the corner. In this one, we'll talk about the nature of our blended course, and we'll go over the materials that you need, the books and the online materials, and I'll talk a little bit about how the skills and values exercises will work. Now, you may or may not have had a blended course yet. I know some of my colleagues do things differently. We will meet in class for 2/3 of the amount of time you're getting credit for. So in our case, that means once a week for 2 hours. And then the rest is accomplished with the online materials and the written assignments that you'll be turning in. There are 2 books that you need. The first one is Skills and Values. Now make sure you get Trusts and Estates because there are other subjects out there as well. It's a little book of practical exercises that come with a big set of online materials to help us. I did not compile or write all of the online materials. I did the tax materials that we'll work with, but the other ones I didn't, and sometimes people give me too much credit here. It's a wonderful resource, but just know that when you buy that little book, you're also buying the right to use all of those online materials, which we'll be looking at. Then the casebook is Anderson and Bloom, Fundamentals of Trusts and Estates. It's the 4th edition. I don't think there are any 3rd editions out there anymore. So, yeah, and I've been using this book for a while. You shouldn't have any trouble finding a 4th edition. Okay, now, we will be using statutes quite a bit. The Uniform Probate Code is sprinkled throughout your casebook. It's also almost identical with the Minnesota Probate Code because Minnesota has the Uniform Probate Code, which means it's all available online. There is a statutory supplement. You don't really need it. If you like having a statute book to carry around, make yourself happy, but you don't really need it. And of course, we'll be using Blackboard, but you know that because you got here already. Okay. Those are blackbirds. Actually, they might be crows, but good enough. Now, you're probably familiar with the in-class part. Yes, there's a classroom. We're all in it. You can wear a suit. I'm not going to. We all show up at the appointed time. We talk about the materials. We've all done this. The online portion has several components. First of all, there are PowerPoints like this one. I've tried to make, I think I've made all of them into videos. There may be 1 or 2 where you just have the PowerPoint, but the PowerPoint and the video are the same content. There is a discussion board. For the first week, your written assignment is a discussion board post. All other discussion board posts will be optional. I'll talk about that in a minute. There will be some online quizzes, and then there will be some written or drafting exercises from Skills and Values that you have to turn in. So something will be due every week, and there will be something online every week. One of the reasons for all the quizzes and for a midterm and a final is that I want to make sure that people don't neglect the online portion of this blended course. Okay, so what do? Well, you read the assigned pages just like you would for class. Okay, and then work through the PowerPoint or watch the video, your preference. The PowerPoint may tell you to answer a question on the discussion board. Now, like I said, all of these are optional except the first week. The first week, that is the assignment. I used some of these PowerPoints in an earlier version of the blended course where we didn't have other written assignments, and so there was a discussion board requirement every week. It's not required now, but you're welcome to use the discussion board for discussion and to post your answers to these questions. There are some interesting questions in there. Okay, now the online quizzes. You get to take these over. You can take them as many times as you want. You need to take them the first time by the deadline but then you can keep taking them over and over until you get a good score. You need to get at least 80% in order to get credit for the quiz. And once you've got over 80%, it's all or none. So there's no difference between 80% and 100%, but you can keep taking them. Some people like to take them later in the semester as review. Whatever. Your people are into weird stuff. Now, the skills and values assignments. These are very much like things you would do in practice. You will draft clauses for wills, for trusts. You might write a letter to a client. Drafting is a little different from writing, and you may or may not have done this in other classes. We will be starting with a sample, which could be an earlier will, it could be a statute that does what we want, or it could be a clause from a will or a trust that's quoted in some case. We take that sample, we tweak it so that it fits our client's situation, and we make sure that it's grammatical and that it applies to the right people. Now, each skills and values exercise that you submit will have two parts. First, you do the exercise and submit it. I grade that on getting it in on time and on being complete and more or less correct. So there's 3 points possible. Okay? And then you also, that same week and in the same Dropbox, will submit a self-critique. Now, this has to be based on the self-assessment materials, and I've got Blackboard set up so that you only see the self-assessment materials after you submit skills and values. I'll talk about this in class too. I want your self-critique to refer to the self-assessment materials. There's a sample. You compare yours to the sample. I'm not saying the sample is perfect. You might say, I think mine was better because this part is more clear. That's okay, but it has to be a critique based on comparing your assignment to the sample. Okay, so that's it. That's our blended course. We meet in class. We do stuff online. You'll get some feedback on your written assignments, and off we go. Thanks for watching.